What's up, boys? Welcome back to day 22 of 75 Day Hard, and I'm actually recording in the day, which I usually never do. Today, I guess it's midday right now, so I don't have like a full day recap. We're yet to see the revenue updates on all the channels. Besides from that, it's been a great day. We had our weekly call in the winner circle today. I was just about to go to the gym to hit legs today. However, I have to go to the accountant first to figure out tax stuff, which is fun. I'm not too scared. I mean, I've been preparing, and I guess that's what I want to say. You guys have to be prepared. First time, when you're starting out, and when I guess it doesn't matter. Like, the amount of money doesn't matter, but when you just start to make money, there's so many lessons that I guess you learn with time. So maybe these videos will help you guys, but it's like, even now, just build a habit of putting money aside. Even when it comes to like investing, I was telling some of my other friends as well. It's like, dude, even if, and they're working a job right now, I was like, dude, even if you're working a job and you might not have that much disposable income every month, like on Wealthsimple, which is an app I use to invest, it's like you can set up an automation. So pick like 3 ETFs, I don't know, VO, whatever, like VFV, something, I don't know, three just safe ones. And even set up like an automation to buy $10 of it every single week. That's how I have it set up. Obviously, I have I buy a lot more every week, and I have a bunch of other stuff. I have some ETFs, and then I have some crypto as well. That way you dollar cost average if you really believe in it. And of course, with most ETFs like S&P 500, it's been growth over the, this is for long term. I don't invest to make money, but investing builds discipline, and you save more money than you would have otherwise, because otherwise, if the money's in your account, you're more inclined to spend it. So that money, once it leaves my account, I don't even think about it, right? Because it's such a hassle to sell your investments and blah, blah, blah. And you don't want to. And it's just like, it's an emergency fund. It's growing over time, like long term, and it's just put aside. And again, you build that discipline and habit. So I was saying, like, you just set up the automation. So that way, as you make more money, you can always increase the amount you're buying every week. That's like a quick fix. But it's like, even if it's $10, it's the idea and that habit that you build, and like money starts to go. And then you start to see like, oh wow, like 3 months later, you have like $300 in your investments, and you're like, I didn't even know that. And now maybe you have a little bit more. So you up your, every week now, instead of spending $30 on 3 things, you spend 60. And like, in a year from now, things change. And again, this is somebody who's working a normal job, but when you're doing like business and entrepreneurship, like, yeah, every month varies. So I take it very slowly and slowly scale it up. But it's like, I set different goals, and it's like, whenever I get paid, I have an account for my like goal I'm working towards. I have a savings account. I have my investments, which are weekly, right? And like, maybe if I make a lot of money today, I'm not going to just up my weekly spend, because again, I'm going to have other expenses, and my income is not guaranteed, but I don't want to lower how much I'm buying every week. So my point is like, for example, next month, when I get paid, if it's like a really good amount of money, then I'll up my weekly investments by like an extra $100, and I'll just scale that way. But again, yeah, just be careful with like, when you do make money, to be smart about it. Genuinely, I feel like I could have been a lot smarter, and to some extent, I sometimes feel like I still do. But I talked about this earlier as well. Like, your mental well-being and your mental happiness is such a priority, and people don't think about that. And I made a TikTok today talking about how it's very important to spend money to make money. I think I talked about that a little bit yesterday. But all I'm gonna say is, like, I've spent close to 5 figures. Maybe I will this month, which is crazy. Some are like, expenses, investments, like just things that just added up. There's just a lot, but it has also given me the biggest month in terms of like how much I've made. But yeah, I'm still like, what's it called? I'm still being smart with the amounts. So what I recommend is, even if you guys are like, even if you get $100 paid today, that doesn't mean it's like, oh, it's just $100. It's like, okay, put $10 to investing, put $10 aside for maybe a goal you're working towards, put $20 aside for taxes, and then put $40 towards your credit card, and then $10 to $20 you keep in your checkings. That's a very dumb example. I'm sure you guys are probably gonna be making more than $100, but it's the principle that matters. And then as you make $1,000, you approach it the same way, right? So like, then instead of $20 or $2, and $200 go to your taxes, $200 to savings, $200 to future goals, $200 to investments, then $200 is what you're really left with. And if you're able to live like that and make decisions based off that $200 that you're left with, that is truly how it starts to compound, where it's like, again, I've been a victim of this, and I know other people have. It's like, you get 1,000, and now you're like, you spend that 1,000, or you act like you really got 1,000, but in reality, you forget to consider the fact that there's expenses, that there's uncertainty in your income, so you have to account for the potential future months or weeks or days where you won't make money, right? You don't think about that as a business person when you're in business, or when you're at least starting out. So that's something to keep in mind. Taxes, of course. So anyways, I think that's a very relevant topic. I think that's going to help a lot of you guys out. It's more so, again, like I said, I know some of you guys are watching this might still be very, very early in your journey, but it's like, it's better to start now, better to start building those habits, and you feel good about it. You feel good that you're being smart with your money. Like I said, I still take, risks and, decisions. Like I've spent thousands of dollars on editing, and not everything is a positive, like I don't make money back on everything, right? Like there's a channel that I, ran for 3 months, lost $2,000 in editing costs. There's another channel two channels that I didn't spend anything on editing costs, but I knew that those channels were making money. So I used that money to spend on a different channel with editing costs, and those 2 channels got removed, and I didn't get paid out like $5,000. So, you know what I mean? Like I'm still taking those risks. But then again, on the flip side, this was the greatest month, and it accounts for all those investments or those failed or those losses or risks, whatever you want to call it, right? But it's like, even next month when I get paid or whatever, like whenever I'm getting money, like I'm still trying to keep it very divided, is what I'm saying. Because every day I don't, when you look at your bank account and you see your checkings, that's like what it is, right? That's like what you use. So I like to, move my money around and leave as little and just as much as I need in my checking. So that way, and it's satisfying too. Like maybe your goal is to save 10K or 20K in your savings. And it's like, even if you're putting $50, $100, just seeing growth and progress as humans makes us feel good. Anyways, I hope that helped you guys out a little bit. I'm pretty locked in. As you guys know, today is the 27th of March. So we have 4 days left. I really want to hit this goal. I'm telling you guys, I don't want to say the number yet, but in terms of just total revenue, I want to hit that goal. And when I say expenses, I don't mean like just business expenses. I just mean my living expenses too, like my car, my food, traveling, whatever. I meant total expenses, but business, business margins in YouTube is fucking great. Especially if you're doing shit yourself, like there's one channel that I edited myself, so practically no expenses, and it's done over 5 figures this month. So like a 98% profit margin, which is insane. There's some other channels like the long form channel, which we've now scaled up to 3 times a day, which was yesterday, the first time I posted 3 videos, and it's doing great. It's actually going to have an all-time high day today as well. That channel is probably running at like, I don't know, 60 to 70% profit margins, but then again, that's split and then after the 70% profit, it's split between 3 people in different ways. So for me, it's probably running at like 20 to 30% profit. But again, I also don't do that much work. So yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, don't be afraid to spend money to delegate tasks, because ultimately, like I gave this example in the video. It's like, if you get your first channel monetized, and obviously I'm giving YouTube examples, but this applies to any business. You can just do the thoughts of, thinking of how that would apply. But with like YouTube, if you start, let's say you're uploading, you get a long form channel monetized, it takes you 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day, let's say, because long form is a little bit more process. Let's say you get a channel monetized, it takes you 3 hours a day, and you're making $5,000 a month. Most people will just continue to do that, and then they'll be trapped, because 3 hours is a long time, and you probably have other commitments outside of work that you have to do, because $5,000 isn't a lot of money for you to like quit your job or school, whatever. So you get stuck in this trap, and then maybe your niche dies, your channel, something happens, right? And then it's like you have to restart. But the right approach could be, you make $5,000 this month from your channel, it hits your bank account, you find a full-time editor, it costs $1,500, and let's say you have another $5K month. You just made $3,500, but you made it all profit and passively, and now you just bought yourself back 3 hours every single day, which you can now reinvest into starting another channel, doing exactly what you just did on the first one to get it monetized, and do it again. Let's say fast forward another 2 months, that one also gets monetized, and let's say that one's making $3,000 a month. Now in total, you're doing $8,000 of revenue. If you do the work yourself, you're spending 6 hours a day on top of everything else, which probably is unrealistic. However, if they're both outsourced, you're spending $3,000 a month now, but you're making $5,000 in profit without doing any work. People underestimate the ability, like that's what passive income is, right? Like you don't have to do any more work. So you can make that 5K now without doing any work if you wanted to, but I'm sure you guys would want to. So again, you can put those 3 hours back into it and continue growing like that. And obviously, again, depending on the business model you're doing, there's other tasks. Like if you're just doing YouTube, then just YouTube. But for me, for example, like I have my personal brand, I have my private community, I have my channels, obviously. So it's like, for me, it's like I have to be smart in all different aspects of it to maximize my efficiency. But anyways, again, this is my first time living life. I'm still going through the process. I'm nobody, different. I'm nobody special. I'm just a kid trying to figure, not a kid, I'm a grown ass adult trying to figure this shit out and try to help you guys out along the process. Cause, they don't teach this in school. You just gotta live and learn. So that's just me, and maybe I'm wrong about some things. Maybe my approach is wrong, but feel free to let me know in the comments down below. And I'm sure as I grow and as I progress, I will learn more and be smarter. And yeah, I think that's about it. I guess the point of this video is be financially smart and don't be afraid to spend money, to lose money, even losing money. People get so like, bro, you have to realize normal businesses take years before they're profitable. So it's like, if you spend 2K this month, and which I haven't, I've lost it, I didn't get anything back, I've learned enough to make me that times 10, you know, going forward. So it's like, you have to be okay with it. Of course, nobody wants to lose money, but you have to be okay with it. You can't let it affect you and hold you back from doing it again. Like, I always come up with a gambling example, but I don't want to. But like, let me try to think of another example. Like, let's take this different business model. Trading, right? Trading, you buy a funded account, right? And you lose it, you blow it. Now it's like, if you are genuinely care about that money, then you're just gonna overthink and you're gonna be afraid to do it again. But actual traders, they'll blow like 10 accounts, they'll lose like $1,000, and then their 11th account, they'll cash out 2K, and it's all worth it. And then you can scale, right? So it's like, don't be afraid. And with YouTube, I know like it's a little different. But anyways, that was it for this video. I know yesterday's a little bit shorter, so I wanted to make this a little bit longer and a little bit more informative. That's it for me. It's another great day. I'm trying to maximize, really maximize these last 4 days. I'm posting a lot more, as much as I can. I'm fucking locked in. I'm hyped. And I'm still waiting for an AdSense pin. It's been over 3 weeks. I re-requested it, so hopefully that comes, because there's some money that's being held there. Other than that, nothing else as of today. That's it for me, boys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Have a great weekend, actually. Peace.